If you have diabetes and your doctor is telling you to avoid carbs, listen up, this video is for you. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this information is simply wrong. So number 1, what is a carb exactly? Are we talking about a berry or are we talking about a piece of cake? So that right there is confusing. You're lumping all foods in together. We should talk about food as food, not as its macro component. Number 2, this involves constant math. This is really diet culture talking. And we know historically that diets fail. They don't work. They're hard to sustain. And ultimately, you end up gaining weight in the future and potentially worsening your metabolic health. Repeated dieting, diet cycling, increases visceral fat and worsens insulin resistance. When you focus on low carb and you make room for other foods, you're often eating foods that are actually worsening your insulin resistance, which ultimately may in the short term lower your blood sugar, but in the long term are going to worsen your diabetes. Number 4, the foods that are most healing for prediabetes and diabetes actually are high carbohydrate foods. When you look at things like beans and berries and oatmeal, intact whole grains, these foods actually help reverse insulin resistance and ultimately will improve your diabetes or even reverse your diabetes in the long run. Which brings me to fact number 5. Lancet, one of the most well-known medical journals in the world, published a study recently that talked about managing versus actually inducing remission. And inducing remission is actually where we want to go, because if you just manage, if you just maintain, you're actually worsening over time. Your cardiovascular health worsens and your risk of death from cardiovascular disease increases. So we should be aiming for remission. So actually consuming foods that support that is helpful. There's many other things that you can do, and this is what I help women do every single day. So follow along for more. You could grab my free fiber guide, which actually helps you determine which foods are healing.